Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. We're so glad you could attend. Come inside, come inside.
Welcome back to The Price of Business. I am your host, Kevin Price. Losing my voice. What an interesting time to do that. Glad to be here with you on The Price of Business. I'm going straight to my friend Walter Rogers. Walter Rogers with Baker Communications, a sales and customer relation management, customer relations training leader. Welcome to the program, Walter.
Thanks for having me back again. I love this time of the day. It's my favorite time of the week, and, you know, we continue to march down our list of 13 key strategies that any business executive must consider as they lay out their plans for growth in 2011. And this week we've got a terrific guest. His name is John Miles. He's the CIO, Chief Information Officer for Dell's Consumer, Small Business, and Public Business. And he's going to have some tremendous insights for us on the impact that technology can have on enabling organizations towards transforming, better communicating with their customers, internally with their staff, and this whole impact of social media. And in fact, Dell is the largest user of Chatter, which we've talked about on shows before. And we're going to hear a little bit about how Dell leverages Chatter. So, John, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you very much, Walter. I'm very glad to be here.
Love to have you. So he's dialing in from Austin, Texas. So, John, tell us a little bit about this Chatter deployment that we've been hearing about and how Dell is leveraging the power of Chatter.
Yeah, Dell was a very early adapter of Chatter, and we have had a very long relationship with Salesforce.com and have really teamed with them to use the products in earnest. And we use Chatter internally in our IT group as a way to help us as we were coordinating projects and different activities as a way to facilitate that content. And then in the July timeframe, went live with it to all 20,000 of our sales representatives, and then in the October timeframe went to the other 75,000 employees in the company. And it has just been a tremendous asset for us because it allows employees to collaborate much more around customers and accounts, which has given us tremendous value.
So, John, one of the things that we hear about is how Chatter can really change the nature of communication inside of a company. So many of us rely on email to communicate, and, you know, we have 300 emails in our inbox, and you know, Chatter certainly can help eliminate that, but there's a lot of other benefits. Any stories you can share with us, the impact that it's having on internal communication, and maybe some of the challenges as well?
Sure. If I had a tagline on what to brand this, it would be, if Dell knew what Dell knows, imagine the possibilities. And what I mean by that is, in a company that it is involved in 170 different countries, it's hard to get a medium and knowledge management capabilities so that all the employees have a voice as to what's going on. And a personal situation that I've seen is there may be employees that are communicating about an opportunity. And in one example, it happened to be a telecom opportunity, and Michael Dell himself is a huge user of Chatter. He happened to be looking at threads that were happening and saw that there was an opportunity where he could help this account executive to have a better presentation of Dell's capabilities. And so he reached out in Chatter, sent the account executive a PowerPoint, and basically gave him talking points on how that account executive could sell that solution to that customer. And I've seen executives and others jump in globally on opportunities like that to help use Chatter to greater facilitate our selling capabilities.
So, Walter, let me jump in real quick, and let me ask our guest, kind of give us a before and after scenario, life at Dell before Chatter versus life now with Chatter.
Well, what's really different is in the Chatter ecosystem, as with many social ecosystems, it follows a completely different paradigm shift of it's no longer hierarchical in how or who has the power. It really becomes based on who has knowledge. So in this new ecosystem, we monitor who the major knowledge providers are, and you see that groups of employees will flock around them and become their followers. So what it's really transformed is the distribution of knowledge, and it gets those people who really truly have knowledge in a certain area to be experts not only within their small group, but globally. So that's been one huge area. The other major area for us is Dell has become one of the biggest pioneers in social media. And so we are using a connection of what we're doing on the social media side as we're looking at product launches or just how Dell is being viewed out externally, and then they're using chatter in our command center to then take positive or negative reviews and expose those to the employee base so we can react on especially bad news issues much quicker in how we need to deal with getting that message out or talking to certain customers.
Walter?
John, I'm wondering what your perspective is on the impact of social media just in general. So many people can tend to view IT as an impediment to business versus an enabler, right? But clearly Dell has an enablement organization, and social media is a big part of what Dell does. And in fact, I believe you mentioned to me that Dell was ranked the #1 company to use social media. How do you manage all that, given all the conversations that are happening? How do you manage all that?
Yeah, and Walter, I think you had a peer of mine, Manish Mehta, on the radio program a number of weeks ago, and Manish is responsible for building this capability out for us, and he's one of my primary business customers. And so we work very heavily with him, and he's developed a major command center capability where he's monitoring all discussion threads globally that are occurring where Dell is being mentioned or our products are being mentioned, and it gives us much better insight into how globally our message and our brand are being thought of in the marketplace, and that having that exposure and then bringing that back into our marketing organization and product organization has had a huge impact on our ability to be more responsive.
Which is just another example of how, the power of information technology helping to bridge these information silos, sharing information so that they can all react much faster to changing market conditions. I know that you're also on the M&A team, and one of the things that you work on is making sure that companies that get on board and get properly, inserted into the Dell IT infrastructure. Can you maybe give us a couple minutes on that?
Yeah, so we are a heavy user again of Salesforce for our sales and marketing space, and what complicates Dell is that we have about 1.5 billion customers in our customer database. So what we have realized is that we have to take a channel agnostic approach to this, meaning they might come through as a consumer into our, Dell Direct or edel/Dell.com space. That same customer may have a spouse who operates a medium business, and they may also be a large enterprise or public customer of Dell. So what we are trying to do through these implementations is really integrate the complete customer life cycle from pre-buying experience all the way through post-implementation support, so that we can recognize the customer and recognize, that they might have multiple intersection points with us, and we really need to manage that customer satisfaction across all those channels that they interface with.
Okay, I'm sorry, gentlemen, I'm going to have to interject because we're running out of time here real quickly, but I do want to mention, of course, Dell.com, Dell.com, and what a fantastic guest, and obviously one we're going to have to get back on again in the future, Walter. Walter Rogers, of course, he's with Baker Communications, and they are, of course, the leader in sales and customer relation training, and obviously you got great tabs through that work on some of the best companies out there, including what you got going on with Dell. Thanks a lot, Walter.
Appreciate being on the show, Kevin. And John, thanks for joining us today.
Excellent, excellent segment. And the board really enjoyed it over at priceofbusinesstv.com. You need to be a part of the conversation over there as well. I'm Kevin Price. A lot more for you right here on The Price of Business on Talk 650, powered by CBS Radio.